All right, we'll try this again. I don't know why it doesn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I literally do nothing differently. And then sometimes I see the chat making the laptop bounce again. I'm going to move around. This thing's going to bounce around a lot. I should put a pillow on here. Maybe a pillow will make a difference. No, that makes it a lot worse. It makes things a lot worse. Yeah, 1 thumbs up. Still no chats. I don't know what I'm doing different. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I see nothing. I see no feed. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, maybe call Ron. FaceTime Ron. Hey man, I can't get the comments to come on. I've done it twice. Yeah, it does this to me every now and again. Like, is there anything that I have to do, like, to make these? I got 22 people on, and I see no comments.
What the hell?
I know. Don't cuss. You're on the live stream.
Oh, hi everybody.
There's Ron. Hey, it's too bright. I don't know. And then I click on the little 3 buttons, and it says participants, pop out, chat, toggle timestamp. I hit toggle.
It's going to be a weird.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got something.
You got it?
I think so. New pin chat. You can now pin a message to the top of your live chat. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there we go.
All right, buddy.
I figured it out.
Where's your tinfoil hat? Why are you so lazy?
Why are you eating ice cream out of the container? All right, I got to get back.
All right, back.
See ya. All right. Now, it looks like somebody say something new. Oh, there we go. What the hell? Gee, all right, okay. Oh, CJ Anderson, thank you for mentioning my verbal tics. That's very nice of you. Doing it live. Can y'all hear me all right? How's the microphone on the computer? Dun dun dun. Mountain bikes. Oh, there's Brian Boudin. All right. Oh my goodness, they're all rolling in now. New record day. You're a butt. It's Sarah. Whoa. Sounds good. Okay, we got some stuff going on here. Hastings, Burlington Northern, and Scale Modeler. Hey, are you into trains, Mr. Hastings? Live from the Witness Protection, TJ Ellis. Something new. I don't know what that means. I dig the all rights and the okays. Good. I've been editing them out a lot. Actually, I haven't been doing them as much as I used to do. Good evening, Rennie. Sounds good here in Canada. Keep up the wicked reviews, sir. Hastings says, yes, a recent hobby. That's very cool. I watched a YouTube channel where somebody made like a tiny railroad town, and it was very, very cool to watch. Plans to review any more speaker kits. The Crichton 1TDX, yes. Any more? Probably not for a while, because those things took over my life. And it wasn't really reviewing the kits per se. It was me building them for customers. That took up all of my time. Here's a good question. Can you share the mods on the Monolith M560? Well, so initially, it's a good looking headphone, built really well, but I found it to be very, very warm. And when I pulled off the ear cups, and they're Velcroed on there, right? So you pull them off, I noticed that the actual like part of the ear cup was covering up part of the driver. And so what I did is I just like glued some Velcro onto bigger pads. and then put those on there. And then because of the clamp force, it seals it up. And they got way better, way more quickly. And I think I used leather, vegan leather from a cow that only eats grass. It's from a cow that doesn't eat meat. Vegan leather. Those are the mods. I basically changed the ear pads and took the ones off the driver that were on there. I could use some advice. I've purchased a pair of Danny's desktops for my grandson. He's using a two hand from Goodwill receiver. Advice for replacement. Dan DAC amp. Oh, I think that means DAC amp. I just got a trash receiver, and I think it sounds fantastic. A DAC going into the receiver, you could look at the IEMA T8. It's a Bluetooth receiver. It's also a full functioning DAC. Also has a tube headphone amp. You can run a 3.5 millimeter to RCA, and then he can get a little taste of the tubiness. It's about $130. Pretty good. It's got a Sabre chip in it. At least the laptop camera isn't looking up your nose, unlike some Zoom call. Hold on, I can fix that. Is that better? That's better. Okay. Oh, no joke. I trust your opinion simply because you listen to metal. Well, I mean, I don't blame you. I don't want to listen to somebody. You know what's interesting is I was having a conversation with somebody about a very revealing speaker, and he was getting my take on it. And I said, it was okay. Because I think a lot of the music I listen to isn't recorded like perfectly, because I listen to metal, I listen to rock, I listen to a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s that may be compressed. So I think too much clarity on a speaker can actually make those recordings not sound great. So I like clarity, but too much of it sometimes isn't great. Just finished fully restoring a Pioneer SA6900. Love your vids, bud. Hey, Nick Keller, I have a question, and if you could email me, I'd appreciate it, because I'm going to replace the filter caps on mine, but I'm having an issue determining what the polarity is on the filter caps that are currently in there. No problem telling the polarity on the new caps I ordered, just the ones that are in there. I think I can kind of figure it out with the wiring, but I'm interested just to hear your take on that. Whoa, we popped up there. All right. With tech difficulties, are you filming on a jitterbug? I don't know. What do you think? Is this a jitterbug? What do you want from me, people? I'm on the road. I could be sleeping right now because I have children. And when I'm on the road, I can actually sleep. People aren't asking me for chocolate milk every 3 seconds. But I'm doing a live stream. Yes, and it is very annoying. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll take you guys over there. Here, let me see what we can do here. Let me see what we can do so you don't have to worry about it. John Nixon liked that vegan leather joke. I don't blame you. Those cows. Here, let's see what we can do here. Maybe if I put the laptop on the bed and then I sit on the floor, maybe we can do that. Yeah, we'll get a nice angle. Hey, look, I'm vlogging. Hey, guys, I'm here in the West Texas hotel room. I'm vlogging. How's that? Let's do this. There we go. It's really nice. Now we're not bouncing around. All right. Brian Bouldin's second hand. All right. SMSL 818 and the Yamaha S805s are awesome. Oh, now I'm out of breath. Purchased the Yamos because of your review. Very cool. They're a good speaker. They're fun. They soundstage and image well. Looking for a pair of bookshelf speakers to pair with a vintage Marantz 2230, 30 watts per channel. Current recommendations apply to lower wattage. Flash 26. The only thing I would stay away from is maybe like 85 dB and below. But I actually think that the power ratings for vintage amps was incredibly conservative, because on my vintage Pioneer, God, the floor is wet. This is a disgusting hotel. On my vintage Pioneer, I don't really feel like it has an issue driving most stuff. Hey, 99 cents. Thanks, Nino. Chuck Isidro, 249 P's with 2 slashes in it. Thank you. What up, Gordo? El Gordo's in the house. El Gordo Audio, Spanish-speaking audio channel, the best one out there. Geo, capacitors have polarity? Yes, they do. Not all of them. The ones like used in crossovers for speakers don't, but most capacitors have polarity. Absolutely, Geo. Thanks, man. Next headphones, Hi-Fi Man Ananda. Very cool. Okay. Okay, here we go. Just got myself a Yamaha RX V68 receiver. I can't believe how it plays 2-channel audio. Maybe you should review it soon. I would love to. But I don't have any hookups with Yamaha yet. I'd love to. Real road music, greater than high-res specialty stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. Oh, from the Philippines. Thanks, Chuck. All the way from the Philippines. Are you still enjoying your Wharfdale Diamond 11.4s? I love them. They're in my upstairs listening room. Just the kids' playroom. Yeah, I love them. They're great. One of my favorite speakers. Oh, John Nixon likes the lighting. Thank you. I spent a lot of time setting it up, John. What? Ronald McDonald just threw $24.99. That was a fun live stream that old Ron had going. I would have watched the whole thing, but I had to go to a really gross Stripes. Ron knows what Stripes is. Nobody was at the front of it for a while. I think it took 10 minutes for someone to come up. Best budget phono stage. Well, I don't think you can go wrong with anything from shit or Skiite or however Ronald says it. I've got the iFi Zen phono in. That's about 180, and that sounds very good. I don't have the other one in from shit. But I don't literally anything they make is good. So I don't think you can go wrong with that. I think Riga makes some, and I think Project. I think I had a Project $200 one. It was very good too. So I would look at Project. I would look at iFi. I would look at shit. And then what's the other one? Riga. I think Riga has one too. Have a good night, bro. The child calls. John, I hear you. That's why I'm here. Ooh, my best audio friend, YouTuber. Ron, you're my best friend, period. I don't have any friends except for Ron. Just watched your vintage amp find. Awesome. Thanks, Chuck. Best speakers for home theater and music in $200 to $300. Well, let's go a little bit lower, okay? Sony SSCS5. Absolutely 100% awesome. Get a little bit of bass boost in there, get them shoved up against the wall, they're even better. JBL Stage A130s when they're on sale for $180. I actually think, and then ELAC debut B6.2s when they're like $250. But the ELACs take a long time to break in. The Sonys and the JBLs are both phenomenal out of the box. And I got distracted. Kyle Cunley, yes, it is Peak Design. I have 2 Peak Designs, actually. Those, so the Sony SSCS5s, the JBL Stage A130s, and then look at the ELACs if they're on sale. Sometimes the 5.2s go down to $200, and sometimes the 6.2s go down to $250. All of those are my top recommendations right now. Yamo's pretty good. It's pretty good. However, if I'm buying speakers for myself personally or for a friend, I'm buying the Sonys or I'm buying the JBLs. If the JBLs aren't 180, I'm buying the Sonys at 120. If the ELACs are 250, I'd look at the ELACs. But again, you got to break those ELACs in for a long time. Boo-doo-doo. Randy, why are you on the floor? Because the laptop was shaking too much when I was on the bed. Sorry. ELAC debut reference worth the extra $100 of the SVS Prime or Wharfdale. Ooh, here's a question. So the SVS Primes are going to be the most lively on top. However, they don't cause any listening fatigue, which is very cool. They're a bit of a V shape or a U curve. Wharfdale Diamonds are very neutral across the board. The Debut Reference is neutral but leans a little bit thick on the bottom, but still has great soundstage and imaging. Those are all great choices. It depends on what you like personally. If you like deadpan flat, go with the Wharfdales. If you like a little bit of, I said the Debut Reference is very similar, that like it analogs up the music, right? So it makes music sound more analog, like a good DAC or a DAC that you like. So that's the difference between the reference. However, those Debut Reference sometimes will go on sale, or you can get it like an Amazon warehouse for less than $600. They're very good. Gordo has the Debut References, and so do I. And I love them. I love my Ship Manny on my RT85 turntable. Ooh, very nice. Fluence turntable. Ship Phonoprix. You didn't really care much for the PS Audio Sprout. I have two, original and the 100. They work extremely well for me. That's great. I don't have any problem with the Sprout except for the price. That's it. I just don't like the price. And I've heard a ton of Class D amps that I think sound better than the Sprout. And the Sprout 100, I thought only sounded decent with the bass boost on. It's good for what it is. If you need a one-box solution that looks really nice, then the Sprout's the product for you. If you want something that sounds better, in my opinion, just my opinion, then there's other things out there that you can kind of cobble together to sound better, I think. But if you love the Sprouts, then great. That's awesome. I didn't personally care for it. That $700 price tag made me really not care for it. And I don't think they're making them anymore. Do you think DACs generally have less of effect on the music when listening through tubes versus solid state? No. I think it depends on the DAC. I think a lot of DACs sound very similar, and then they don't. And the aha moment for DACs with me came with the Orchard Audio off of a Pecan Pi, and then it also came from the Denafreps Aries 2. Also came iFi Zen DAC. Those three DACs were really a far cry from what other DACs sounded like to me. So if you have a very good DAC, then it can have a very big effect or greater effect on tubes or solid state. And I would argue the Denafreps is a very open DAC to begin with. So you put that on some tubes that are also open. Now you're having a very spacious experience. But not all DACs are created equal. And the ones that I really stood out to me being very special, Denafreps, iFi Zen, and then the Orchard Audio, which is really just a DAC that goes onto a Raspberry Pi. Elna, Silmic are also Nelson Pass favorites. Cool. Those are amps, I think. My favorite electrolytic capacitors are the Japanese Elna, Silmic. Okay. That's what that is. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you, Corey. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for watching. Trey Horn, $25. Holy cow. Emotiva B1. Oh, you know, you're right, Hastings. I completely left the poor emos out. They're fantastic. You shaped the very, very revealing, awesome clarity, amazing clarity, amazing. Any plans of doing AVR reviews? John, yes. When some come back in stock, because right now they're kind of few and far between. That is something that I want to get into. I want to get more into because I have 2, 3 home theater receivers. And I want to get more into it. But right now I don't have any, and they're kind of scarce right now. Dolby Atmos height speakers. Voodoo are actually good. Can't decide if I should get some. I would say grab whatever speakers you have laying around, preferably ones that are sealed. Little ones, you can go probably find anything, and then put them where you want to put them, and then try it out. If you like it, I have played around with Dolby Atmos height speakers. And actually, I think I like the DTS, but they use the height speakers. I like the DTS better. Are towers worth it, or just go with desktops with subs? Depends on the room. I think towers are completely worth it if you are they're going to be there for a while. If it's a bigger room and they can handle the amount of bass that those towers put out, it depends on what you want. Personally, for me, and it's my lifestyle, it's not really my listening preferences. I like a pair of bookshelves and a sub because I think I have more movement with those, more freedom of placement and things like that. And with the kids and everything. However, if I'm buying a set of speakers that are going to be with me forever, it might be a set of towers. I don't know. Still all in on the CSS Crichton. Absolutely. It's fantastic. Fantastic. I think the Encores are fantastic as well. And I think they're both fantastic for different reasons. Ever tried the budget stuff from Dayton Audio? I have. Value products, but not high end. Right down the road from me. That's very cool. I did a review on like their $60 speaker with AMT tweeter. I've got a couple of their amps. Yeah, Dayton Audio is good. I mean, they're an awesome outfit. Bifrost DAC review. Did I miss that one? I haven't done a dedicated review to it yet. It's very good though. I like it. Interesting project. I use a $12.99 DSD DAC to turn my notebook into a great sounding CD player. Fantastic. That sounds like something right up my alley. Do you travel with a Bluetooth speaker? If so, which one? I do not, Scott. The two Bluetooth speakers that I liked the best were Ultimate Ears. The mini booms, they look like they're about the size of softballs, so you can pair them together for stereo. They're okay. Pretty good. I travel with headphones. And right now I have the Grado SR80Es. Here, I'll show them to you. I have these Grado SR80Es. And then I have the AKG K361s. And then I have two dongle DACs I was listening to. Don't make me get up again. Out of breath. Can you please compare JBL A130 and ELAC 6.2 in terms of staging, imaging, and sound curve? The 6.2s are more flat, and if you would A/B them, I would say 9 people out of 10 would probably choose the JBLs. But if you live with the ELACs for a while, they start to come to life. Both the JBL and the ELACs stage very well. The JBLs surprisingly have a very deep sound stage with, you don't really have to do much with placement. The JBLs can come out further from the wall. The ELACs actually have to be somewhat closer to the wall because of their front port. So they have a different, the JBLs are going to be more forward on the top end, but not fatiguing. They're both very good. I would say the JBLs probably have a bit of a U shape to them, a little bit of a U shape. What is your recommendation for a near field speaker that has good imaging and soundstage? $200 to $300. Again, what I said before, the Sony SSCS5s, and what I would do with them, if you want to get crazy awesome soundstage and imaging, don't point them directly at you. Toe them out a bit and then get into them a little bit. And it's basically what Ron talks about with LOTS, but you can do it at your desktop by just getting into the speakers a little bit. So kind of breaking that triangle, the equilateral triangle. So instead of having the tweeters facing towards you, out a little bit and then come in a little bit. And the soundstage gets crazy. It's very fun. So my recommendations for near field speakers: Sony SSCS5, the JBL Stage A130s, the ELAC UB 5.2s, Emotiva B1 Pluses. If you want to move to a different sound from my current monitor audio bronze, $600 budget, what should I try out? Not a fan of Klipsch. So lots of options. The Wharfdale Diamond 12.2s are $500. They're going to be a different sound. I would look at the ELAC DB reference. Going to be a different sound than the Bronze 100s, right in your budget, and one of the finest speakers I've heard. It's going to be right at $600. Sometimes you can get a open box or something from Crutchfield or an Amazon warehouse for even less. Sometimes they go on sale down to like $550, but not very often. And none of those are going to be like Klipsch. I would recommend the SVS primes, but those have a very similar sound to the bronze ones. Maybe a little bit more going on top, or the bronze ones or 100s. I think 100s. Okay. Hey man, just discovered your channel today. Really appreciate your attitude approach to audio. Been a dumpster audiophile for a couple of decades. I just revamp vintage stuff. Very cool, Mike. I am loving that Pioneer receiver. I was listening to it before I got on the road, and it is awesome. Love it. JC says my Sprout 100 is the one. Uh-oh, where'd he go? Uh-oh, I lost it. Oh, there's a JC. Okay, my Sprout 100 is the one Randy reviewed, and I'll say he's on point with his review. You're definitely paying for the build quality. The sound quality is good, but you can absolutely do better for less. Thank you, JC, and thank you for sending me the Sprout 100. And I am so glad I found the box. I thought I lost. This nice gentleman sends me his Sprout 100, which is a beautiful piece of equipment. Looks all of $700, and I go to send it back, and I can't find the box or the box he shipped it in. And it turned out it was in the garage, and I did find it, but man, I felt like garbage, and not the good kind of garbage where you find a receiver. The bad kind of garbage, like a dirty diaper with some Indian food in there, maybe half a burnt tire. Love the vintage video. I'm using Yamaha CR240 receiver. So simple. I could enjoy more vintage videos. I think they're going to come, man. I bought 2 vintage realistic receivers because that's what I grew up with. So yeah. Savage A20A Class D amp on a vinyl setup. Bad idea or a nice one. I have Dolly 2 Spectres, by the way. Very good speakers. Very good amp. Play around with the EQ settings. I don't think it's a bad setup at all. That Savage is a great Class D amp. Play around with it. Also, it's going to depend on what you're feeding the Savage. What kind of phono preamp. What are the ELACs with ribbon tweeters like? I haven't heard those. Haven't heard them. I've only heard Andrew Jones speakers. I think those are the Carinas or something like that. Ever reviewed DJ type PA? I haven't. No speakers. NADC 340 integrated amp still kicks ass over 21 years. You know what? They all do. They're really awesome. What's your actual system? You review a lot of equipment, but when you are not, what do you listen to? David, well, now it's the Pioneer. I used to listen to the Anthem integrated 225 a lot, and the speakers would be either the ELAC debut reference, the ELAC Unify 2.0s, the Wharfdale Diamond 11.4s. Basically, the Denafreps Aries 2 has become kind of my DAC of choice that I like to listen to. I've got to put that away, though, because it makes all the other DACs sound not as good to me. So anyway, John Suda says, hey Randy, at least I'm not banned on this channel, not like Ron. What's his problem? Such a child. Laugh out loud. I don't know, bro. I mean, I would imagine that he just didn't pick you out of a group and say, I'm banning John Suda forever, just like making an example out of you. I don't know, bro. I don't know what the history is there. Shit, Modi 3 is astounding for the money. You know, Rafi, you're not the first person to tell me that today. I actually talked to somebody else today about that. The Modi is a knockout for the price. What are you doing in a hotel? I am working, Mr. Sweeta. Not right now. I will be tomorrow morning. Loving my NAD RP500. ELAC debut 5.2 sounded boring to me after all the hype. All the hype. Well, if you like the RP500Ms, I can understand that you could see that the ELAC debuts 5.2s probably a little bit more boring compared to those. If you like the RPs, I get it. That's the speaker for you, and it's good that you have choices. El Gordo said he's heard awesome reports about the Modi 3. Grado SR225i are the end game for me. Very cool. Have you ever listened to Focal Chorus? I haven't. No. How about these vintage amps? You just can't measure great sound. No, you can't be. Ever listen to old M&K speakers? I haven't. No, I haven't. I'd like to. I want to listen to everything. Everything. RT Roxanne Roy. Okay, iFi Zendac Burr Brown chip or iFi Zendac V2 XMOS chip. I haven't heard of the V2. I like Burr Browns though. I'm a bit of a buttery guy. I like the smoother presentation. Should I get a Denafreps Aries 2 over using the DAC in my Macintosh? I don't know anything about that Macintosh DAC, bro. Hey, John. What do you recommend? Uh-oh. I just lost John. There he is. Oh, no. Oh, there's Howdy Brock. Okay. Hey, Randy. What do you recommend for a Ram truck and Puma 28 camper? Oh, wait. I don't have any money now. I found out. You know, John, I think you should first go get yourself a trailer and then make sure that you get a trailer that's too big to pull with any of your current equipment. And then you got to go get a truck to pull the trailer. So you got the new trailer. Now you need to get a new truck. And then you need to get new rims for the new truck and probably better tires. New floor mats, new radio, probably speakers, subwoofers, maybe bedazzle your steering wheel. Probably going to need to do a coolant flush, transmission flush. You're in for it. Yeah. Howdy, Brock. John. R51 or Fluon signatures. Ooh, Casey. I don't think I would do either of those. I would look at the Sony SSCS5s. Sony SSCS5s mops the floor with the R51s. R51s are not good at all. They're not. One of my least favorite speakers I've ever had. And when I first started the channel, I gave them an okay review. And as I've listened to more affordable stuff, I mean, stuff that's half the price of those R51s. If you had to choose between those two, I'd go with the Fluons. But I would look at the Sonys. I would look at the JBL Stage A130s, Emotiva B1 Plus, either the ELAC 5.2s, 6.2s. Heck, what else? What else is in that price range? Q Acoustics 3020i's. Look at the Dolly Spectre 2s. Literally almost any speaker other than, because I don't even know what the R51s are going for, because they go for like $200, $300 sometimes. And then they mark them on sale. Like that R51 gets bested by a $75 Sony speaker in every way. Okay, I'm going to get off that. How can I send you the details on the DSD DAC notebook CD player? cheapaudioman@gmail.com. Our Stage A130s and Aries 2 with IEMA amp. You know, I actually haven't tried that combo. I imagine it's great, though. The IEMA is not harsh at all, so it's going to be good. I can't imagine that combination not being good. Do you know how dirty hotel room floor are? Not as dirty as the gas station I just went into to buy food. Just want to tell you, thanks, man, for all you... Dude, this is a hotel in West Texas. I don't know if you've ever been out here. Pretty rough neighborhood. And I've been out here many times. Floor in a hotel room does not scare me nearly as much as gas station food in West Texas. And I just ate some. So the floor in this hotel room is the least of my worries right now. Just want to tell you, thanks, man, for all you do. You keep talking me into Denafreps. Is that the endpoint purchase, though? Jeff, it depends. And I've had this conversation many times, and it boggles my brain just how, to me, how good this thing is. However, it may not be the thing for you. For me, it is. However, I think the shit Modi 3 Plus coming from my good friend Brock, he has basically put his name on that and vouched for it. And if he does, then that's good enough for me. So if you want to save some money and you're looking for new DACs, then I would just get the Modi 3 Plus and don't look back. SVS Ultra, Evo 4.2, new ELAC UB R6 or Clips R, I think RM600, paired with Marantz. Listen to Rock and Metal. Are you asking which one? Because I actually have the SVS Ultra, I have the Evo 4.2, and I have the ELAC Unified Reference. I don't have the Clips RP600, but that Clips RP600 does not play with any of those other three. Those other three are top notch. They're all good. If you really love metal, you might like those Ultras or the Evos better. Evos are fantastic, but I need to do my review on those. Acquired a free vintage Sansui 9090. Just got it back from a full recap. Wow, I can sell it used for at least $1,500. Hey man, Manny, how much did it cost for a full recap? And was that all capacitors or just like the filter capacitors? I'm very interested. Shooter X loves my channel and the info. Thank you, Shooter X. I love you. I don't know you personally. I assume you're a good person. Maybe not, though. I also grew up in the Realistic Receivers and Nova 40 headphones. Awesome. And Cheap Arnie, man, are you going to review the super hyped Bowers & Wilkins 607 anniversary edition? Probably not. No, I asked for them, but I never got them. Cool beans. Going to defiantly try those ELACs. I don't know if you meant definitely or defiantly, but I like defiantly. That I'm begrudgingly going to try those ELACs. I like that. You think a direction of porting changes the soundstage feel of the speaker? It can. I think it depends on the speaker. I don't think there's any like rules of thumb or like rules about. I've heard front ports not image well, and rear ports not image well. Trey Horn, quick question: do you enjoy using a device such as a FiiO or Ear Studio Bluetooth with easy to drive headphones or IEMs? I found the FiiO app has improved. Thoughts, Trey? I have used my Ear Studio M100 Mark II so many times that I've rubbed some of the finish off of it. I absolutely love it, and it is actually a very good tool for me because it has a big EQ, so I can really play around with the EQ, and it helps me to understand the headphone a little bit more. So even if a headphone doesn't need amplification because it's very easy to drive, I still use the Ear Studio M100 Mark II just because, number one, it's got 2 Sabre chips, and I think it sounds great. Number 2, you can run it balanced. And number 3, it's got that insane EQ. Insane app. Hey, Cheap Audio Man. You should do a Bluetooth speaker series. I know they suck, but I think your audience would enjoy it. And we all need, I actually want to do that. Going to Expona this year. I don't know. I'm only going to go to one, and that is going to be either Expona or Rocky Mountain Audio Fest. So one of those. I haven't decided yet. Hey, Randy, nice name. Just ordered the topping D90 SE DAC, and I need your approval. It's good, man. It's the thickest, luscious Sabre I've ever heard. It's very good. Very, very, very good. So is Aries 2. So is a shit Bifrost. But don't look back. If you need MQA, it's very good. It's balanced. It's good stuff. John Sweeta doesn't think Ron likes his honest opinions. Okay, I get it. As you're talking about the Sonys right now, you probably don't like this one two ways. I do the same thing, though. I face them out, and I scoot myself inside of them, and that way they don't murder me. Okay, I get that. Put the tweeter a couple inches below your ear, too. But if you don't like the Sonys, you don't like the Sonys. Listen, I'm not the person. I don't crown any speaker king or queen. I just tell you what I think. What experiences what would be your amp of choice with the Aries 2 and ELAC? You don't want to hear this. It's my old that Pioneer, man. I'm in such love with that Pioneer. Amp of choice. All the Emotiva stuff sounds good with it. I think you don't want to go too like hyper analytical. Like the Iota VX, probably not going to pair well with that. Some of the Class D stuff that doesn't have EQ is probably not going to pair well with it. You want an amp that's got some meat, some junk in the trunk. Bought a Yamaha 595, an actual sound receiver back in 2000, still works really well. I've got a Yamaha in my daughter's room upstairs that refuses to die. I wish it would, but it doesn't. Oh, Gordo saying hi to Brock. Whew. Hey, Rainey, thanks for doing these live stream. Cool question. Would the Loxg 830 pair well with the ELAC Unify UB52s? It would. Yes, it would. If you can swing it, though, look at the SMSL DA9. I know that it doesn't have a DAC, but it's balanced, and it has a very good EQ setting called SBD. Loxg is very good. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, under 200 DAC amp. But if you can look at the SMSL, it's better. Speaking of, did you ever get into car audio? Yes, I did in high school, and then I redid my entire vehicle, and then I gave that to my son, and then I redid my current vehicle. So I don't go too crazy, though, because it's hard to really tell a difference when you have 65 dB of road noise going on. Signal noise ratio, right? You got a lot of road noise. Are you going to be able to tell the difference between high res, no res, Bluetooth, AAC, SBD, LDAC? Probably not. Audio Technica makes some good headphones. Yes, I have the M50s. They're very good. I love the M50s. Zeos doesn't like the M50s. I like the M50s. I thought they're really good. I use those for a lot of my, what do you call them, podcasts. John, I was just messing with you, John. I love you very much. Hi-Fi Go is the place to buy Chi-Fi. Seriously, undercuts Shenzhen audio. I'm just saying. Hey, Randy, which speaker would fit better to an SMSL 8018 in a small room? Well, the 8018 has a bunch of different EQ settings, and it has tone control, so you can kind of get it to sound kind of what you want. It depends on what type of listening you like. If you like a forward speaker, I think some of the Klipsch offerings would be okay, but I would steer you probably towards the Stage A130 by JBL, Emotiva B1 Plus, very good, Sony SSCS5, Polk. I like Polk. I've been listening to the R100s lately. Micah RB42 ? Very warm, very hard to drive, very small. What's up? I'm on holidays. Wanted to stop by and say hello. Richard McCoy, all the way up in Canada on holiday. Drinking some whiskey, maybe. I don't know. How does the ELAC unit reference compare to the GR kit speakers? Very good. The Encores have a little bit better bass clarity. ELACs hit a lot harder, can go a lot deeper than the Encores. Encores are fantastic, though. And if you feel comfortable putting it together and finishing it, that's really where the rubber meets the road on these kit speakers, is how pretty do you want it to be. Encores are fantastic. They really are fantastic speakers. Any good tiny speakers around the size of Minimus 7s, RB42s. Just bought some KEF Q150s. Loved your video on them. Q150s are a fun speaker. I like that speaker. I'm willing to ship you my vintage ADS. Wait a minute. I was literally talking about this speaker yesterday. ADS 710 bookshelves for you. Golden gems that will blow many current bookshelves. Manny? Pacquiao? Wait a minute. Is that real? The real Manny? Send me an email, cheapaudioman@gmail.com, and we can talk, because I was literally talking about those speakers yesterday to somebody. Pair of PSB Image 4T, crazy good value, and bought in the year 2000. Very cool. West Texas hotels have cockroach bellhops if you get a nice room. Grew up in DFW. Cool. Very cool. Don't judge gas station food, man. Dude, I don't. I like gas station food. You didn't go into the gas station I went to. Stripes, Midland, off the interstate. I just got back from the 7-Eleven from Buffalo Chicken. I'm telling you, man, 7-Eleven is like a 5-star restaurant compared to this place. But don't take my word for it. Come over to Midland off of I-20 and see for yourself. Hey, Randy, sorry for the late reply. I was getting my girls to bed. Brother, I've been there many times. My old Pioneer, the caps had a solid color on one side of the cap. This represents the lead closest to the stripe is negative. My caps are all black, and they have some writing on the front. So I don't know which one's positive and which ones are negative. B&W MM1, but they're expensive. Some old caps in the early 70s had small notches or X marks on one side of the cap. Closest lead to those marks are positive. Okay. So if there's an X on it, X marks the positive. Okay. Sorry I messed up my voice text. I honestly want to know if you have built the Swan two-ways or do you hate them? I haven't built them, Trey, because the enclosure was nearly impossible. Well, I put it this way. I spent more time than I wanted to on trying to put the enclosures together because those are cut at a 45. So what I really should have done is taped them all and then kind of laid them together. But I didn't, and then I got frustrated because it took too much time on it. So they're sitting in my garage. They look like they have good bones, though. Very good drivers, all that good stuff. Throw a pillowcase over the light. It'll look awesome. Okay. CSS Crichton 1 TD versus Dolly Oberon 1. I haven't heard the Dollies. By all accounts, they're a great speaker. Great speaker. Thanks for your recommendation on the SMSL SA300 and JBL Stage A130s are rocking the shit out of my guest room. You rock, sir. You rock, DeMayor. Nick. Also, a buttery guy too, bud. Arcam amp Bifrost 2. Ooh, a Bifrost 2 is a nice buttery DAC. To Totem Sauce. Fed by my solid state media center I built. Never too much warm butter. I agree. Little trick from the Glickster. Yo, Randy. Whoa, $10. Ooh. Still no Unify reference in Germany. We're going to have to pop it down, gents. I'm sorry, I'm missing a bunch. RG, how's the veneering business going? Haha, just kidding. It's not going well. Although my last speaker that I sent out, the last one that I had was my swan song. And I found the trick to veneering is to put like 7 coats of poly on the speaker when it's done. Because when you get that poly at the edges, it kind of surface tension, it holds it, and then you put another coat, and then it gets, and then eventually those edges are all encased in polyurethane. Guess what? A veneer does not come up when it's all encased in polyurethane. And then I like put cardboard corners on there and then wrap the whole thing up. So I finally figured it out on my last speaker before I wanted to jump off a bridge because I don't like veneering. Veneering is easy if you don't move it. If you don't move the speaker anywhere, put it into a box, ship it halfway across the country. Veneering is not that difficult. If you do veneer a speaker and you plan on moving it, I would put 5 coats of poly on there. Trey Horn's going to bed. 11 o'clock in Florida. Busy day, busy week. Thanks, Randy. Thank you, Trey. Got to get a good power supply to try out all these sweet old school car amps. Nice. How about a review of the tube amplifier preamp IEMA T4? I didn't know that existed. Laugh out loud. IHOP Midland is their Michelin restaurant, probably. Like, Midland's not bad. Like, when you go downtown, Midland, they've got some nice restaurants. Where I'm at is not great. Hi, Randy. Driving ELAC Unify 2.0 and ELAC debut reference with an amp capable of driving A plus B. Be surprised. Awesome sound. I'm driving it with Rotel. Heard good things about Rotel. They're a little spicy on top for me, though, Rotels. I know that's painting with broad strokes, but the Rotels that I heard were a little bit excited on the top end. Wondering about using an external DAC with an integrated amp that has a DAC built in. Yes, you certainly can and should, because the DAC in your integrated, depending upon what the cost of your integrated is, probably isn't as good as the DAC that is not in the integrated. Am I correct that I'd be layering DAC on DAC? No, you're not correct. What you would do is run your digitals into the DAC, and then run the RCAs into an RCA input in your integrated, and just not use the DAC in your integrated amp. Now, if somehow your DAC had a digital out, and then you digital out from that DAC into your amp DAC, then yes, you would. But don't do that. External DAC, digital sources into it, and then RCA out of that into your integrated amp, into whatever input you have open. And then bada bing, bada boom, you're using your external DAC. Any recommendations for a high efficiency floor standing around $500, vintage or new, of a Yamaha C800, 10 watt per channel? People would be amazed at actually tower speakers are generally way more efficient than bookshelf speakers. So I think I don't know much about tower speakers. I just haven't spent enough time with them. I mean, I like the Wharfedale towers. I like the Emotiva towers. Depends on what you like, though, because if you like spicy top end, but it's not fatiguing, it can be fatiguing, but you can just face them straight out. Emotivas are the way to go. Very good. Emotiva T0s. Very good. Gain cell DAC, laid back, not enough detail. Tube, pre with a good DAC in front. Do what I want. Question mark. Joe Lewis, do what I want. Gain cell DAC, laid back, not enough detail. Tubed pre with a good DAC in front. Do what I want. Question mark. I'm having a hard time following that one. Get the shit, Modi 3. Tubed pre with what? For 5K? I'm not. We're gonna move on. Will you be reviewing the GR Research Mini? I don't have plans to right now. I may. Depends on if Danny wants me to. Mr. Flim Flam Flindibbity tried an AIYA 07 pre that sounds like dog poop compared to Duke P1. Best combo so far. AIYA 07 with Duke P1. I'll send you the Duke. Very cool. I like saying Duke. John Shepler, I know you're joking, and so am I here. I'm here. The speakers will get built fast, if not in your ground. You know what, John, you should do is you should hook up that trailer and head to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I'll meet you. You can hook that thing, put it in my backyard. I'll run an extension cord out there and water hose, fresh water, electricity, and the kids can jump on the trampoline. We'll roast some hot dogs in the fireplace. Do you think a sub would make music sound better? Yes, if it's blended correctly, for sure. John's going to be in Mississippi next week. Well, that's pretty close. Manny Pacquiao emailed me the L710s. Thanks, Ian. Thank you, Ian. Manny Pacquiao. Is it possible to bridge 3 different IOTA PA3s to one IOTA SA3 in order to run a pair of bookshelves and a pair of subs through high-level output? I wouldn't suggest that. What you can do, though, is just take your sub output or RCA output and then split it, because the impedance is going to be fine. Just split the RCAs and then run it to another subwoofer. I do it all the time. I told you can iron veneer on, or you can buy corner strips or glue both sides of the materials with PVA and let them dry. Thanks, John. Appreciate you. That's good feedback. Great feedback. Regards from Sydney. Hey, Tickin. What's your opinion on the Sony? I haven't listened to that one. Alexander. Do you enjoy more critical listening to music with your eyes closed, or eating a very fancy sandwich with your eyes closed? Well, if I'm eating a fancy sandwich and it has like lettuce or onions and it's crunchy, I find that detracts from my musical enjoyment, as well as potato chips and corn chips. Kanto passive speakers on sale right now. You think they're any good? I don't know. I've never heard any. Ooh, Bangarang. Now that you've heard the heresies, what's your next white whale speaker? I don't know. I mean, they were good, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, these are so good. I have too many expensive speakers in right now the way it is. I don't know. I'll have to think on that one. Oh, KLH Mono 5s. I'd like to hear those. They're $2,000. I would like to hear the KLH Mono 5s. Ah, yes, the old non-sealed all black caps. You won't see any markings, but I can feel it. There will be a small notch or ring shape pressed into the cap. This is the side of the positive lead. Just a notch. Okay, so I'm assuming I probably need to take a gander. I think I can tell by the leads which is the positive and which is the negative. But okay, so what I can do is I can clip the spade off of the cap to maintain all the wiring, so I don't have to like take all the wires off, and then make a notch next to the one I think is positive, then pull it out, and then I guess compare it. I think I'll get it figured. The thing that weirds me out is there's actually, it looks like a resistor in between the caps. I don't know. If you email me, I'll email you a picture and you can tell me what you think. cheapaudiman@gmail.com. Towers are great if you have a larger room. Otherwise, stick with bookies and a sub. That's true, probably, but the T0s are floor standard. It depends on what you categorize as a tower or floor standard. T0s are small. Yamaha S807s are small, and they work really well in a small room. Now, if you have the T1 Plus from Emotiva, those things are about the size of a small refrigerator. Yeah, that's going to be too much in a small room. But there's all sorts of sizes of floor mount speakers. Subs are no with ELAC UB52s. You know, surprisingly, they go pretty low. They hit pretty hard. However, if you want something in the 30s and the 20s, then yes, a sub. But those ELAC UB52s have a lot bigger punch than I thought they would. JBL 507 Studio. It's $399. It's great for the money. I liked it better than the Emotiva Zeros. Very cool. Have you ever plugged a port in a speaker and completely changed the sound of your enjoy? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Especially on center channels. I have a center channel that was having crazy resonances because of the location of it. I couldn't change the location, so I plugged the port. Went away. Didn't completely go away, but most of it went away. Would you consider Unify Reference over the UB5? Would I consider? I don't know. I mean, the ELAC Unify Reference is a very, very good speaker. Do you mean the UB52? The reference is a bit more bass, a little bit more bass clarity, hits harder, a lot better looking. I still like the ELAC Unify Refs. Any wonkiness? No, I don't. No wonkiness. They're a fine speaker. Actually, one of the better speakers that I've heard. I like the Crichtons, and I like the Encores, and I like ELAC Unify Reference, and I like the UB52s. I like the Sony SOCS5s. I like the JBL Sage A130s. I like pretty much every Emotiva speaker made. Oh, God, are we still talking about veneering? All right. Oh, man, are you expecting another Metallica t-shirt? Hey, I've got a question for you guys. Has anybody seen Green Day in concert? Because I may go to Green Day. Not this weekend, but next weekend. John Sweeta, there is no circuit board. It's sticking into. I might know why John or Ron banned you. There's no circuit board. They're the filter caps at the back of a 1973, 4, 5, or 6 receiver. No circuit board. They have a bunch of wires connected to them. No circuit board. Just wires connected to the bottom. And then it's bolted into the chassis. Oh, Mike Day says, yes, they're amazing live. Green Day is a great show. Also doing Pat Metheny this summer. Very cool. Green Day used to be awesome in person, but Billy Joe is woke turd now. Okay. Well, hopefully he doesn't talk about his politics and mostly plays music. I went to a Green Day show probably 15 years ago. They were fantastic back then. Pulled some people on stage to play with them. Definitely a good time. Green Day, nice. I'm jealous. Bangarang. Yeah. General admission. I go bebopping around there with all the teenagers. Try pointing the center speaker up, straight up, or at 45 degrees. That will give you better room boundary properties. Okay. Ooh, and Justice for All or Master of Puppets? I like them both. That's like asking me what kid do I like the best. They all have different properties, and they're all good for different reasons. Will you be reviewing more shit? I got a whole box of shit. Actually, I just got another box of shit. I have the Vidar. I have the Azir. I think I might have a couple of Azirs. I have, I believe, the Freya Plus. I have the Bifrost too. A whole bunch of shit. Aaron, you have a Vista Audio Spark. Ooh. Paired to the Klipsch RP600 in a small room. Any other speaker pairing recommended? I think it says a little. That could be a little bit happy on the top because that Vista Audio Spark is a very detailed amp. I would look at just about anything other than the Klipsch is probably going to be pretty good. I'd stay away from the Emotiva. A little butter in there. I mean, the debut reference would be really good. Any of the Dolly stuff, Dolly Spectre 2 would be good. Q Acoustics 3030i, Q Acoustics 3020i. The JBLs, maybe iffy. The Stage A130s. I'd stay away from the Sonys. ELAC debut 5.2s. Probably be good. I'm trying to think of a buttery speaker that's affordable. I don't know. You kind of got me stumped on that one. Shit came out with a 6-band EQ. What? Am I sitting crisscross applesauce? I am. Look at my black socks. You like those? Oh my God. I'll give me a Orfdale and Spark would also be good. Yeah, the 11.2s and the Spark would be great. 12.2s, I can see that working. Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever find out why she knocked it over, the cereal? No, I didn't. We just go with it. Favorite piece of SMSL gear? Ooh. SU8S. It's a fantastic DAC. You skipped past my question, but all good. Have a recommended amp for magnet? Oh, LRs. I don't know, bro. I haven't, Mr. Mayhem. I've never tried to drive the Maggies. Something probably solid state, high power, like the Emotiva A300 would work, I would imagine. The new Emotiva A2, any like the Anthem integrated, Anthem 225. Probably looking for like 100 watts or more, something that maybe doubles or gets close to doubling in 4 ohms. John Heisler, hey Randy, does the UB52 have a soundstage size on par with the UB52/XLS Encore Crichton 1TD? Or are they all noticeably larger in soundstage? I actually think the ELACs are better soundstaging because they have better vertical off-axis imaging. And they're got a mid-range driver that acts as basically a waveguide. So they all soundstage and image well. I actually think the ELACs probably soundstage better than the Crichtons or the Encores. Mr. Mayhem. Yeah, ELAC, it's tough to beat ELAC price per watt. They do a really good job. Actually, I'm putting together a kit from Akitika. Akitika. I don't know how many watts it is, though. It might be 15. Yeah. Yeah. Probably stick with the Emotiva. I'm trying to think of some high power, lower, affordable stuff. Can't think of anything right now. Maggie's love high current, Name, Hagel, etc. Yeah, those are probably not in the same ballpark price as the Emotiva. Man, that AEMO with the tube looks like a great value. Too bad no LDAC. It sounds good. The Bluetooth sounds good. I was Bluetoothing in last night. And if you want to get different sound of the Bluetooth, run a 3.5 millimeter out into the RCA. I'm starting to kind of soften up on like all this resolution, the need for resolution, and just kind of it's about the DAC. It's not as much about the resolution. It's all about the DAC. Emotiva. Oh, look at Brock. XTZ A2, 300 watts per channel, 500. Brock just throwing it down. Hello. Brock, is that a Class D or AB? Used AdCon for the Maggies. I talked to one of my good close friends that's a big supporter of the channel. He went and listened to the Maggies, and he was underwhelmed. That's what he said. I haven't heard it personally. Brock D says Class D. Brock G says Class D. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. Akitika. I'm having a good time with it. I did solder one of the resistors in the wrong slot. So that was a lot of fun getting out. I made one mistake. So we got all the resistors in, almost all the diodes in on the power supply board. I'm going to put the big diodes in. But it is a ton of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I wish I'd have gotten to it sooner. All right, 10-12. Let's have some lightning round questions, and then I'm going to go to bed in my bed bug infested West Texas hotel. Ooh, I just enjoy hearing him say Akitika. I hope he says it a lot when he puts out the review. I'm not going to say it a lot because I can't say it very well. Ortho 12.1 Eclipse RP600M for home theater music around 7030. Looking for a great sub at Wharfdale. I'm not a big fan of Clips. I'm not. I do like the Clips RP 500s better than the 600s. What about Wharfdale 225s? Ever heard? 11.2s are sold out. I have not heard the 225s. However, I have a friend that had both, and he sold his 225s for 11.2s. Alejandro, am I a sports fan? I love college football. Love it, love it, love it. I know this isn't exactly affordable bookshelves, but just throwing it out there. Over the LS50 for 6 months. They're good. I had Revel Performa M106, and they wiped the floor with the LS50, if curious. Very good. One of the reasons why I started this channel was because of the KEF LS50. Crichton 1TDX versus 1TD. 1TDX sounds like it has more going on top. It's a lot more expensive, though, too. Since you're getting into amp building, you should try to snag a Nelson Pass. That's on the list. I really want to. Mr. Mayhem, but I still have my ADS L570 and sold the Revels and KEF LS50s. One of my faves. It's interesting you say that because I had the LS50s. I sold them. I had a buddy that had a set of Revels, and he sold them to get a pair of ADS because he'd given away his old LDS or ADS speakers a long time ago. Same forwards and back. I get it. Yes, Akitika. Yeah, I get it. I can't say it. I can read it, but I can't say it. Sean Heisler. Thanks, Ernie. Just picked up a Vidar and have it driving my UB52s. Excellent pairing by Frost 2 and Musical Paradise 2 amp. Very nice. Sounds fun. What's your favorite affordable DAC? It depends on what you say is affordable. I like the SU8S from SMSL at $360. I like the iFi Zen if you only need USB. It's about $130, although it keeps going up in price. Apparently, the Schiit Modi 3 Plus is awesome at about $100. Everything between the SMSL kind of is okay. Sounds similar to me until I get to the Denafreps. And then the Denafreps is a standout. So Denafreps, SMSL, SU8S, and then the iFi Zen. Also the Orchard Audio DAC, but that's only for Pecan Pie. I personally like Sabre and Burr Brown DACs over AKM most of the time. Will you build a tube amp? I'd love to. I don't have one. Oh, Andover Songbird plus IEMA A07 plus IEMA T8 plus Q Acoustic 3020i. Sounds good to me. Sounds really good. Andover Songbird actually sounds really good. Like the DAC out of it's really good. All right. We're going to call it a night, gents. All right. I appreciate all of you. Hey, if you want to have a chance to win some speakers and a bunch of amps, some IEMs and stuff, go to Homes for Our Troops. There's a link in the description of literally like the past 10 videos I have. If you go there and you enter, you can make a contribution and then enter yourself to win. You win a set of CSS 1TD Creightons. A bunch of other stuff too. A bunch of DACs and amps and stuff. IEMs. All right, gents, ladies, if there's one of you out there. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night.